Holy bananas, they got finished with the new drywall. Look at that. But that is not the topic of today's video. Today's video, I'm going to be putting in a smart irrigation system. Neat. Rachio! Got that the first try. Yes! What's up YouTube, Jason here with Byte My Bits, and in today's video you are going to be witnessing potentially the itch. In this particular case, the smart home itch. If you don't know what that means it's piqued my interest. For the longest time, I've been thinking about what ecosystem do I want to get into, how much smart home do I want, but since I've been doing my garage renovation, I've been really chewing on this. I want smart lights, I want smart sprinkler controller, not a whole lot of stuff in the garage, but it's just a launching platform. And since the rabbit hole known as this garage renovation of mine keeps getting deeper and deeper, I figured since I'm unhooking my old school, just regular irrigation control system, I may as well just replace it with something smart. And that's where Rachio comes in. It's Rachio. I feel like it should be Rachio, but instead it's Rachio. It's like Ratchet, but with L. Specifically the Rachio 3. This thing is an upgrade from Rachio 2. I know, bad joke. I have no idea how good or bad the Rachio 2 was, but the Rachio 3 has solid reviews, so I bought it. Side note, I originally thought I could get away with kind of a run and gun review style video in my garage, but the echo and the background noise was so terrifying that it made my own ears bleed. I had a series of mini strokes and I almost unsubscribed from myself when I tried to edit the video. So here I am. So what does a smart sprinkler system do versus an old, outdated, still good, but not smart irrigation system controller? Well, the plain and simple answer is smarter watering. Every day I see people, even in my own neighborhood, water their lawn during the evening, even though it is heavily recommended to water your lawn in the morning. But that is just one of many recommendations when it comes to watering your lawn. For example, depending on what type of heads you are using in each zone, really depends on how often you should water, if you should take a break in between watering to allow for saturation, if you should pause watering if it's really windy or chilly. And of course, the tried and true, if it's raining outside already, why water your lawn at the same time? That's kind of an old, obvious thing, but still they had rain sensors to handle all that. But with the smart thing, you just don't need that anymore. So this Rachio version 3 is an 8-zone sprinkler controller, which has the options for a 16-zone if you want to pay a little more. It includes Hyper Local Weather Intelligence Plus, which actually narrows down the weather to your area within a 36-foot radius. It does this by aggregating information from multiple sources, including weather stations all over the globe, satellite data, and something else. I mean, it pulls everything and it narrows it down to such a small area, which is really good because if anyone knows rainstorms, sometimes they can travel in little patches. They can be super intense, but only be like a square mile. It has a built-in option for rain, freeze, or wind skipping. And the biggest thing that I like about this is a built-in option for saturation delay. This has always been something that I thought about before, especially with the soil that I have in my yard. Basically, if you have kind of like a clayish soil that doesn't absorb water very well, you want your water to have some time to get into the roots. You need it to saturate before you put more water on it. If you don't, basically the lawn is just going to water and all that water is going to run off to the weakest point in your yard. So like my backyard, for example, it needs a lot of water because the rotors rotate and they're covering a lot of ground, but it is also slanted. So if I water for too long, the water will noticeably run out of my backyard. Now the water saturation delay that the Rachio 3 offers allows it to water halfway through its zone, give it a break, run a different zone, and then come back and finish the watering schedule. I know that is kind of a weird feature, but based off of my lawn and the soil top that I have outside, it is drastically better for my lawn. Now another decent thing about the Rachio 3 that other smart devices don't have is that it connects to either 2.4 or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's not a huge deal, but it is just nice having that option. Also, it has seasonal shift, which I haven't tested yet because I've only had this thing installed for about a week and a half. But basically, if it's really hot outside, it's going to water more, or if it's really cold outside, it's going to reduce the watering schedule. And that's something that I usually do throughout the entire year, especially when we have 100-degree weather that lasts sometimes for a whole month or longer. I water every single day, sometimes twice a day, but usually the twice a day thing is I manually start it. Side note, since I'm talking about manually starting your sprinkler system, this thing works with Amazon, Alexa, or Siri with the HomeKit. That's right, it's compatible with your iPhone. You can talk to Siri and you can tell her to water your lawn. You can't do a scene. You can't say like, hey, water my lawn, and it runs through all of them, but you can do a zone, which is still helpful because a lot of times I was having issues with my front lawn. So I could do things like, hey Siri, turn on zone 2.
You got it. Watering the zone 2 for 60 seconds.
Hey, see? Just like that. Hey Siri, stop watering.
Okay, I've stopped watering your valves.
I want all my devices to be compatible with Apple HomeKit. Now, one more thing with Rachio 3 is that it is compatible with a flow meter. Rachio has a flow meter that you can plug into your lines that actually measures how much water is being used. I don't really care about how much water each zone is using, but what I do like about that idea is that it would tell me if there was a line break. That way, if for some reason during its normal watering schedule something goes wrong, a zone head pops off and it just starts gushing water, I mean, my sprinklers go off somewhere around 4:30 in the morning and stop at like 7 something in the morning. So there is no way, unless I go back and reference my cameras, that I will ever know I have a broken zone. Unless a neighbor just happens to tell me because they're out at 4:30 in the morning looking at my lawn. With a flow meter, it would be able to tell me, hey, normally use this much water in this zone, but now it's exponentially larger. You got something broke. So that would be cool to install. I haven't got that, and I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I think I will. But I don't know yet, but I think so. But not all devices are perfect. This thing does have a few cons that I do want to point out before you run out and turn your own sprinkler system into a smart home automated device. First and foremost, when I was connecting this thing to HomeKit, I had issues connecting. It would not find the device. I tried over and over. I force closed the apps. I tried to get it to add. I could just not get it to work. I just could not get it to work. In the end, I unplugged the device completely and then just rebooted it. And as soon as I did that, HomeKit picked it up immediately. Which that brings me to the second point, and that is connectivity. If you go to the Amazon reviews, I personally have not experienced it past the HomeKit edition. If you go to the Amazon reviews, there are more than a few people that say that the range on the Wi-Fi here is not that good. So you may need a Wi-Fi extender in wherever you're going to be installing it, or just have a good Wi-Fi access point. I don't know if that's related to the HomeKit connectivity or not, because I had to restart it, had to force it to reconnect. I don't know if that's related, but I just wanted to mention them both. So if your irrigation control system is located somewhere with poor Wi-Fi signal, you might want to keep that in mind. Second thing, and this is again purely off of Amazon reviews, the Rachio customer service is solely email based and not very quick. I've never contacted them. I have no validity to that. Usually when people get, a delayed response, they're going to be the first ones to cry about it on Amazon. So I don't know how accurate that is, but there are multiple people reviewing and saying the same thing, that they are either slow or just not responsive at all. Again, I don't know. That's just off Amazon. And circling back to what I said before, and that is I can't add a scene to this, which means I can't say, hey Siri, water my lawn. Don't do it. Wait, actually, hey Siri, water my lawn. Nope, can't do it. Instead, I have to start each zone individually. I can't say things like turn on zone 2 for 20 minutes, turn on zone 3 for 15 minutes individually, but I can't just say, hey, water my lawn. That's another added benefit of watering in the morning, aside from the whole mold and a bunch of different reasons I'm not going to get into now. But if I come home and I just notice it's been super hot, the grass is really stressed, it's having a hard time keeping up and needs just a little bit more water, I'd like to say, hey, water my lawn. I've done it before. I add another watering cycle in the evening and it helps out a lot. It's not a huge downside to this device, it's just a minor annoyance. But the thing I like about it most is definitely the weather system. The intelligence system that it has, aggregating all that data, pretty much makes my rain sensor completely useless. In fact, I found out that my rain sensor wasn't even hooked up. It was powered on, but there's a blue wire that should have been hooked up that wasn't hooked up, which means my old system did not turn off when there was water. Go figure. I don't know if it's because it's broke or they just didn't want to hook it up. I have absolutely no idea. I was going to hook it up, but this thing is so smart, it basically makes it pointless. Like within 36-foot radius of your house, it will know if it's raining and it will automatically adjust itself, including a predictive thing. So if it knows it's going to rain at noon and it's going to be a torrential downpour, it's not going to turn on your sprinklers in the morning because it's already going to get rain in the middle of the day. So this thing makes rain sensors obsolete. It makes my entire sprinkler system completely smart, self-adjusting, and able to be controlled from anywhere in the world with an internet connection. Also, it looks way better than my old one and has a cool blue light on the front that I'm like totally mesmerized by. And since I'm doing this whole garage renovation thing, I just really wanted something that looked good. This answered that call. So that's nice. Guys, if you want to learn more about the Rachio 3, check out the links in the description down below. You will find some Amazon affiliate links that will take you to the page to find out more detailed specifications about it and a current pricing. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, of course, post those in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.